Hey guys, hope you are all having a good morning today. Listen, there comes a point in time where we come across a story or experience that makes us stop, that makes us reconsider life decisions. These moments are usually brought by something so absurd that one often has a hard time rationalizing its existence. I just had one of these experiences, after I was linked a set of news that showed that the state of Idaho is considering a tent city for workers being crushed because of income inequality and scarce affordable housing. Take a moment to digest this, because we are about to dive deep into one of the most ridiculous stories that have happened in a long time. A state does not have the ability to restructure and prioritize the lives and well-being of its constituents, and instead have resolved to opting to have essential workers settle in tents rather than proper housing. Let's dive deep into this story. Just make sure to regularly pick up your jaw as you hear what I am about to say. Before we start, let me quickly state that I am not a financial advisor, and that all content discussed in this channel is simply information gathered that I deem important for people to know, so that they can make informed decisions. All efforts are aimed to better understand the nature of the current market in anticipation of the greatest squeeze in financial history. Let's dive right in. Ketchum is a town in Idaho where some of the richest people in the entire country own lavish properties. The city is set with one of the most beautiful sights in the world, with sweeping mountains that glitter certain times a day. There is a good chunk of really wealthy individuals who live here, and many others who vacation and own homes in the area. Yet, beneath the apparent and superficial look of Ketchum lies a dire reality for the normal folk of the town, which includes the nurses, the teachers, the service workers who labor hard to keep the city holding strong. Officials are working over a plan that will set up areas in the city park to allow them a place to sleep in tents. As housing and rent costs continue to soar out of the control of officials, rather than make proposals and legislation to protect individuals from the greed of corporate housing investment, they have bent the knee, resorting to make plans for decent people to grant them the opportunity to settle down in tents. We are officially living in a corporate dystopia, and the fact that this isn't making headlines everywhere is a testament of how far we have fallen. The Ketchum mayor, Neil Bradshaw, was noted as saying that at least there is a bathroom in the park where they plan to make a tent city. The detachment from this public official is so astounding I couldn't even believe he actually said that, but he did. This whole crisis is absurd, especially when you contrast it with some of the counties currently listing houses over $905,000 in rents running thousands and thousands of dollars per month. Mayor Bradshaw and other city council members have been working hard to contend with the even increasing public frustration that is engulfing entire counties and reaching a boiling point. A resident from Ketchum went public and put his frustrations out to everyone. He said he makes good money at his advertising job, but even making good money is no longer enough, as he has been unable to find a place to live. He said, and I quote, "Not only am I going to be homeless with a good job on September 1st, but my friends who are in the service industry, who don't make a lot of money, they can't pay $2,900 a month for a two-bedroom in Ketchum." This resident, whose name is Reed Stillman, then directed a comment directly to the mayor, saying this isn't San Francisco, Neil. A council is apparently set to discuss potential ways to resolve the situation, but even they have acknowledged that what they are looking to do is provide short-term fixes and not real solutions to this ever-growing problem. This right here shows the very core of the problem that seems to be spreading across all communities in the United States. Officials are worried about the short term, whatever minimum patch they can offer to get re-elected again for office, instead of making the hard and difficult choices necessary to uplift a town into some decent cost for living. But if you think Tent City is the only ridiculous answer the Ketchum City Council and Governor have in mind, please buckle up and tape your jaw to your skull, because it doesn't end there. Along with the idea of setting up temporary tent housing in a park, Mayor Bradshaw has also been floating ideas about opening up parking lots too in order to allow for people to have somewhere to live. What this shows is the extreme magnitude of the problem. A huge park isn't enough. They also are looking to open up entire parking lots designed for tents, and even that is nowhere near enough, since we found out officials are having to contend with offering housing vouchers or subsidies as well as renting out blocks of hotel room for workers. This is why Wall Street has been heavily investing in hotels, which we talked about many times in this channel. They have been buying entire hotels with the plan of playing both roles, the villain that kicked millions of people into the streets while also getting that nice big government handout as a way to provide a roof over people's head. But hey, what if I told you the situation gets even weirder and more absurd? What if I told you that Mayor Bradshaw has been voicing and reaching out to homeowners in Ketchum to open up extra space and step up to ease the burden? That's right, it's now the normal citizen's job to carry the load that the government obviously can't handle. In a statement, Mayor Bradshaw said, and I quote, "We are always going to be encouraging local residents to open their doors to 1 or 2 bedrooms that they may have unused in their own house as a way to reach out and do their part for the community." I am literally speechless. The problem is not looking to ease off, as tourism and an influx of season workers seems to be adding to the surge of people desperately looking for somewhere to sleep at night. The same resident we quoted earlier, Reed Stillman, shed some perspective into the situation. He said, and I quote, "I want to know what we are going to do now in a tent city in Ketchum is a joke. We are in Ketchum, Idaho, and we have homeless people, and they may not be in the street, and you may not see them, which is good for you and good for business, but they are living on couches, they are in friends' houses, and now they are in tents up north. They are camping down south, and they are doing anything they can to get to work here in town." Hotel managers were interviewed about their experience, and they sure had some horror stories to share. They describe what is happening as a massive traffic wave of people coming into Ketchum to work in the mornings and then being forced to live in their own cars, share a one-night rent at a hotel or motel between many individuals as well. But guess what? Renters have another issue to contend with, and that is the law. In Ketchum and Blaine County, among many others, officials are putting limits on how many short-term rentals can be allowed in the city. As a result, longtime renters are being pushed out and affordable rentals have become practically non-existent. So on one hand, the council and public officials say they want to solve the problems short-term wise, but at the same time, they are setting up laws that literally outlaw people from being able to rent. They are setting things up so that their tent city, as they call it, is a real thing that comes to fruition. Liz Keegan, who serves on Blaine County Housing Authority, acknowledged there is enough housing in the area for the amount of people pouring in, but that the practical solution here is to have older residents open some space in their homes for renters, who in exchange, should have to provide caretaking and other help around the house. This public official is literally saying old people should open up the doors to complete and random strangers in exchange for favors around the house, because they don't want to actually work to fix the real issues like make affordable housing. In case you forgot, affordable housing is a big no-no, since investors make most money by having a low supply of housing. It allows them to raise rent and housing prices through the roof. Liz Keegan also suggested forcing Airbnb to change their business structure to appease the problems of Blaine County, which is just as ridiculous. These public officials have officially lost their minds, and citizens in Idaho should do well to inform each other and pick better candidates in upcoming elections. They are literally throwing you out into the streets and enforcing unconstitutional and highly risky responsibilities unto others, even the elderly. Let me tell you this level of without a strong workforce, Ketchum will end up failing. Ketchum, the heart of the valley, where tons of rich people live, will crumble if city officials don't stop obsessing with appeasing the 1%. And lastly, if you think this issue will not spread to the rest of the country, please think again. I guarantee you a lot of other municipalities and cities are looking closely at how the situation in Ketchum develops, taking notes as to what ideas they can copy and implement. The era of home ownership is done, but I never thought renting might also be going away with it. Instead, we are now in the era of tents, where you will be confined to a little enclosed space in a park filled with thousands of others random, with no privacy or comforts, because city officials needed to ensure Wall Street and private equity investment firms got their fair share of the housing market at your expense. This is the modern America, the country that once led the charge for the rest of the world, now becoming a morbid experiment, an example and cautionary tale for other countries as what not to do. Tent cities are here, and I guarantee you they are bound to start popping up in many states. Ketchum is by no means an exclusive and isolated tale, so count the days and hope you do not fall victim to the idiocy of modern politics and private sector corruption. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. Let me know your thoughts and comments below. I have no measure to tell if you enjoy this type of content other than your feedback, so go all out down there. Many were asking where my morning videos went, and here I am. Sorry for the delay. I have been researching some crypto-related content so I can make a new little series based on it, so excuse my tardiness. I have some other cool morning videos coming out the rest of the week, so worry not about my absence. Be sure to share this video with others, as it covers some very important stuff. I feel like everyone should know what is happening with the current housing crisis and have seen a lot of people take interest in it. The more we know, the better our decision-making is. Again, thank you all for making it to the end. I have a Patreon link in the description as well as some one-time donation links for Cash App and PayPal. Thank you again for being a part of this channel. I will continue striving for better content. Hope you keep having a great day, and I hope to see you later today on the recap video. Until then, keep on buying the dip into the moon.